Welcome to the Cricket Roundup on the Lockdown Show. We welcome our guest
Alhamdulillah.
Junaid Iqbal today to discuss the Pakistan and South Africa's upcoming Test series. How are you doing today, Junaid?
I'm good. Alhamdulillah, I'm very good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you very much. We'll start off with the potential 11 that will be playing in tomorrow's game. Pakistan has brought in some very interesting names. We have a potential debutant in Imran But we may also have one of either Noman Ali or Sajid Khan, and Hassan Ali is also likely to make a comeback. How do you see this team, and do you think that is it a balanced side with a lot of young blood being injected?
They have got the potential, and the one of the best thing is these guys have been playing for the past uh, probably 6 months in Karachi. So we are going to see the best form of them. Hopefully they will tackle it. Hopefully they will absorb the pressure, and let's see who is going to play and how they're going to perform. One thing which is most likely is that we will definitely dominate. Pakistan is the most favorite despite the series of New Zealand. We need to forget that inclusion of Babar Azam, which is obviously a big impact. Definitely, we are looking to that, and that's going to play a very key role in this series. Secondly, in Pakistan, Babar Azam has played, I guess, 3 tests, and he's got average of 202, above 200 average. So yeah, Babar Azam, Rizwan, Azhar Ali, and obviously Fawad Alam. I'm seeing a very good uh, Pakistan performance. I'm
That's
expecting a very
fantastic. Mhm.
yes,
So, in terms of openers, we have seen some good openers come and go. Shan Masood was, I think, an obvious exclusion because his form since the first test in England was pretty horrible, and
yes.
even in that game, he benefited from drought catches. So, do you think Imran Butt would be able to replace him? And obviously, the other first choice opener is Imamul Haq.
Abid Ali is going to play. Abid Ali is a naturally attacking batsman, so he is, and his average is very good in Pakistan. And second is Imran, but Imran But hasn't performed really well in the past 6 months. He hasn't scored a single century uh, for it's been like so many days. His best score is in the last 5 matches in 92. But let's see. We have heard a lot about him. Shan Masood was an obvious exclusion. The main reason, obviously, he was struggling. The main reason to me is his mindset. If you look at the Shan Masood batting, he is, I won't call him a selfish player, but in the current time, the amount which he takes to score run, just in case if even if he fails after 80 balls, he has just got 20 or 30 runs, which is not going to be counted. And so he has to like take a lot of ball, or he tries to like he doesn't score. Simply he doesn't score for the first
Yeah,
20 overs.
he's generally in single figures after playing 50 balls. That works
Exactly.
if you're going to end up scoring 100, but if you're going to
Exactly.
say score 45 of 200 balls, then it's not very healthy for the team.
Exactly.
Unless obviously you're
So
playing on a minefield where getting those 45 runs is worth much more than anything else, then that's a separate issue.
it's very unlikely that he would perform. He has been like he has scored a century a day before yesterday in the one day. But again, it's again the mindset.
Yes,
People
he
actually,
probably needs some time away from the international game right now.
I don't see Misbah after this series. I don't know, but just like Shiv Akhtar has said a few days ago that Andy Flower has been shortlisted. It's just he's waiting for the PSL. Once the PSL is done, he's going to come with his team. So, and that message has been given to Misbah as well. That the only reason Andy Flower hasn't joined is just because of PSL, because he has to drop one thing, either PSL or either the coaching of Pakistan. So he's
Well,
going to
that is
complete
that is a
this.
bit of a thorny issue these days. Misbah's fall from almost being a king in PCB to somebody who might be an outsider. It's been
Yeah,
an interesting chain of events. Andy Flower was a brilliant batsman, but there have been some question marks over his coaching ability in the recent past. I wouldn't say he's been a bad coach, but if you go through what Kevin Peterson said about him, he might be the perfect coach from the cricket board's point of view, not ideally from a team's point of view. So I think that would be an interesting thing to see how it goes.
Yes, Misbah was a bit adamant. That's the thing which has costed him, I guess. If you go back to why Sarfaraz was dropped from the captaincy of T20, at least he should have been kept as a captain of T20. As far as I remember, in his own captaincy, he never get a chance. He never got a chance to bat.
He was a
So
bit
like
complacent, to be honest. He did promote a lot of other batsmen ahead of himself instead of
yeah,
taking the helm of going forward and
exactly.
really facing the
Yeah,
brunt.
but he
But
was winning something. He was the best captain, just like Dhoni. He was the best captain. Dhoni was not performing in the last days, but he was winning the matches. So Sarfraz, that was actually not the the fall of Sarfraz. That was more of a fall of a Misbah once again.
another omission from the team, and I think this was a surprise one, was Kamran Ghulam. He
Oh
was recently
yes,
picked up after really heavy scoring in the domestic
yes,
season,
after
creating
breaking the record.
yes,
Yes,
breaking the 37-year-old record, and yet he
exactly.
doesn't make the final cut. That's actually still sending very weird messages to the masses, and I just can't fathom what PCB is thinking over here.
Yes, like South Shakil has been preferred instead of Kamran Ghulam, whereas we see South Shakil has scored. He has got like two centuries in the last 10 games. But Kamran Ghulam was consistently performing, and I guess he should have been given a chance, a straight chance straight away. At least should have been in 17, probably 17, even if not in 11. Uh, I'm not sure South Shakil would be playing tomorrow or not.
It's
I
pretty
guess not.
unlikely.
It's pretty unlikely, yes. Because we have got Fawad Alam, and Fawad Alam is, I'm expecting a big run from him
Yes, that's his
in
home
Pakistan.
ground. He's very likely to score. He should grab this opportunity with both hands.
It's going to cost South Africa a lot, I guess.
Let's hope so.
Yes, yes, yeah. And we haven't discussed South Africa, but they are also very new, very new.
Definitely, yes.
A very young side. I guess it's Faf, Captain de
And
Kock.
Quinton de Kock is there, Faf du Plessis is there. I
And
believe Kagiso Rabada is there, but most of the names are not very experienced. You don't really
yes,
know about a lot of the batsmen and the bowlers in there, which I think is partly because of their policy where they have to have a number of colored players in the team.
uh,
Personally, I think South Africa has produced enough talent that they can look beyond this policy now.
well, we are unable to understand South Africa. They have got like so many players. Like they have got another team, just like Miller and other Colin Ingram, who have been playing very good.
He left
Amla
the
is retired.
group.
I guess
Amla is
Hashim Amla is
retired. Yes.
way more early than expected. He shouldn't, I
Well, he
guess.
was about 36 when he called it a day, but yes, he still had a good 3, 4 years of international cricket in him.
Yes, I guess he was playing good. We are expecting a very inexperienced side. I guess it's going to. My prediction is it's going to happen the same thing which happened to us in now New Zealand, or more or less the same thing.
Yeah, but I doubt South Africa will be dropping as many catches, so they have a better chance against
Mhm.
Pakistan and putting up a fight.
Yes,
So
yes,
when we come to the bowling department, Tabish Khan, the 36-year-old fast bowler, is unlikely to get an opportunity. Hassan Ali is making a comeback. Hassan Ali is a brilliant talent, but he always makes me nervous. This is a
Mhm.
guy who's prone to injuries now, and his performance in the recent domestic season was nothing short of amazing. But do you think he's just ready and test fit? Shaheen Afridi is a great option, and we had a shocker in terms of dropping somebody like Muhammad Abbas because he's consistent. If he doesn't pick up wickets, he still doesn't give away runs, and he just shackles the opposition. So was it a wise move to drop somebody like Abbas and then bring on somebody like Hassan Ali? What's your take on that?
No, Hassan Ali hasn't replaced Abbas. I guess it's more Tabish Khan who has replaced Abbas. Hassan Ali, yes, they have brought in. I guess in placement of Suhail Khan or something like that. Tabish Khan is going to fill the void of Abbas. The issue was with Abbas was like he got a bit complacent. His pace was completely dropped. Once for the first 50 wickets, we were comparing him better or somewhere close to Muhammad Asif. But then he did not perform that good in abroad, especially in Australia and England, where Asif was phenomenal. And obviously, his pace was dropped. Where I would quote Shoaib Akhtar that they were playing just like in nets. That's the way other batsmen have been playing in New Zealand against Abbas. So yeah, that's where Abbas needs to work. I guess he needs to bring in like 6-7 meter more. He is like hardly bowling 128, 129, 130.
That's true.
Whereas he should have been, especially abroad, he should have been bowling out somewhere close to 140, 138 to get wickets.
And obviously, those wickets respond better if you are nippier. So
Yes,
he
exactly.
could have done better, definitely.
That's good.
And in the spin
So
department, I believe this constant chopping surprises me actually. Yasir Shah being dropped, okay. They believe that in New Zealand in the final test, they believe that Zafar Gohar was a better option. And I wouldn't talk much about his spin because he obviously played under very tough conditions with little support. But as a batsman, he seemed like someone who could deliver. And yet, after one test match, Zafar Gohar is thrown out of the team, and we have new guys coming in. So, was it worth a single test match drop him, or is this policy consistent? What's your take on that?
we took Kashif Bhatti in England, and he did not play a single match, and he got dropped. Why he was dropped, nobody has the answer. Whereas this Zafar Gohar, he has been playing for the same team Misbah has been playing. So everybody accused him of getting the favor. Whereas that's not the fault of Zafar Gohar, but the inclusion of him was wrong specifically in that test, where they dropped their off spinner. They dropped Santner, the left arm off spinner, whereas we brought in Zafar Gohar, which was actually an injustice with him, uh, considering the ground, considering the opposition, where they did not prefer the left arm spinner, and we actually gave him a chance. So obviously, just like it was predicted, he did not get a single wicket. He went for I guess around five and average, five and over.
A little
I
less
guess
than
somewhere
that, but yeah, he gave away a lot of runs. Definitely.
a lot of runs. So favorism did not work.
Yeah, it's
Um,
unfair with the talent too. I mean, if you look over the years, Misbah has brought in players that he knows well. I'm not saying he's brought in players that didn't deserve it, but he
huh,
preferred the players that he liked. And I
exactly.
think it actually helped Islamabad United as well. He was able to bring in players that he knew would deliver. But we later realized that the late Dean Jones also had a huge factor in Islamabad victories, and it just wasn't Misbah.
Yes,
So
they dropped Misbah too.
yeah,
No,
Misbah is
Islam.
out of Islamabad United now, and
Yes. So
yeah, I hope Johan Botha does well. We'll be doing a
hmm,
show on that soon enough, and we'll be discussing the squad there as well. So yeah, it seems that Zafar Gohar basically was uh, unfortunate victim of unfortunate events, a series of unfortunate events there.
exactly.
So yeah, so
Uh,
yeah, concluding the whole thing, what do you expect Pakistan would do if they'll say win the toss, and how do you think this match should pan out in the next 5 days?
I guess winning the toss, we would definitely go for batting first. Karachi has been, our fortress where we have just lost one test, which was very unlikely. But so far,
Very
that's only one test.
controversial.
Yes, very controversial. We are expecting a very good show from Pakistan, a very good show, a very from my point of view, I guess we are going to get a good sum of runs from the top order, from the overall batting, and probably we might be declaring in the first inning or second inning. Obviously, that's what I'm predicting. Let's see. So I guess it's going to be Pakistan who's going to dominate. Let's see how new guys are going to perform. A lot depends on them, and obviously Babar Azam since he has been coming back.
All
Yeah.
right. Fantastic talking with you as always, Junaid. And we'll inshallah meet up again soon and see how the game is going. So until then,
Ah,
uh, it's goodbye. Thanks for your
thank you.
time.